Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to Small Town Johnstown. I am Jenny, here with my host.
I'm Nick. So I'm not used to being the second
I
part for that.
I know normally he's the one introducing, and we're here with Heidi today. Heidi, how are you?
Great.
And she started Cinnamon's Closet. So tell us a little bit about that. What is Cinnamon's Closet?
Okay. Cinnamon's Closet is a donation project. So, what we do is take donations from the community, and our main mission is to support people that are actively rescuing the
Mhm.
rescue groups, the pet food pantries. That's our mission is to support them.
Yeah.
People actively already doing it.
Okay. And where is it located, and how do people usually donate to
Okay.
this?
It's located at 705 Chestnut Street in Johnstown, PA. We're co-partnered with the Cambria County Clothing Boutique.
Hmm.
So we both take in donations so that people can donate there. We're open Monday 9 to 12 and Thursday 4 to 6.
Okay.
They can also call, email, or Facebook message, like if it's off days or hours, if they wanted to donate.
Okay. And what typically donations do you guys accept, and what should people look for in in the closet? Like if they're in need of something, what do you guys usually have?
So what we do is we distribute it.
Okay.
The donations we get, we distribute it to the rescuers, or like
Okay.
I've already taken a load to St. Mark's. So they can donate food, treats, any kind for any animal. I don't
Okay.
care if it's lizards, bunnies,
Yeah.
cats, dogs. So it's not just for cats and dogs. Fish, I don't care, we'll help them.
Yeah.
Food, treats, crates, humane traps for the rescuers that
Okay.
are doing a lot of TNR
Yeah.
with cats or even with dogs, bedding, leashes, over the counter flea meds, dewormer, harnesses,
Hmm.
toys. Trying to think what else. Pretty much any item that would be pertainable.
To any animal.
Yes, yes. New and very gently used.
Okay.
The animal food has to be closed just for safety reasons,
Yeah.
like no open, animal food. But yeah, it's to support the whole animal community as a whole.
Yeah.
The main, I'm saying we're supporting the animal community, but the purpose even behind that is to support people that they can keep their animals in the homes
Yeah.
versus like that's what the pet food pantries in order, if it becomes a hardship
Yeah.
for buying food or maybe necessities, if we can support that in any way versus them giving them to a shelter or
Yeah.
rescue or letting them out in the street, God forbid,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by just supporting everybody as a whole. And then those donations that we do receive go to the pet food pantries. Um, they also are going to go to like legit reputable people that I know are rescuers.
Yeah.
And so I've already helped with one cat rescue and two dog rescues.
There's a lot more rescues popping up. Like we were talking a little bit earlier, I see so many different things on Facebook, so many Facebook groups,
Yeah.
more and more rescue groups
Yeah.
are popping up.
Yeah.
So you said that you don't accept food that's already been open for safety purposes. Is there anything else that you wouldn't accept? Just something super old and
If it's not clean, if it's
okay.
not functional, like thank you, but no thank you,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
Jenny tell me some stories about like some of the blankets they used to receive at
oh,
like
yeah,
the
that's the kind of
county.
stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah, because people,
They
I
mean
understand.
well, but
Yeah, yeah. People don't want their stuff to go. They don't want to throw it out, but sometimes it is like you said, thanks but no
yeah,
thanks kind of thing.
safety issues, cleanliness
Yeah,
issues. And, I mean, it's not that we're not grateful, but that's why I say new and gently used.
yeah,
So, like, if it's not up to par, it's just going in the trash.
yeah,
I'm not gonna give it to anything broken or filthy, anything like
Have you
yeah.
that.
ever gotten something that was like you can tell was definitely used, but the person I say, "What do you mean? They barely
No,
touched it."
no, it's all been wonderful. Literally, it
Yeah,
has so
that's good.
far.
That's good
So
though.
far, so
What?
Yeah,
good.
knock on wood.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what inspired you to start Cinnamon's Closet? And maybe tell the people who Cinnamon is and kind of the backstory with that.
Yeah. So I volunteered for years with shelter pets, predominantly the dogs. And I got really attached to this dog named Cinnamon and spent a lot of years with her. And when she passed, I think she'd be the exact example of like the underdog.
Mhm.
Everybody's happy wishes to have them in their forever homes, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. So I wanted to expand. I used to volunteer with donations for humans, and I wanted to expand that into animals as well to support the animal community because I have such a heart for the animals. And instantly, Cindy just came on my mind. I think I spent from like 2019 to 2023 with her, days at my house, days outside, just a lot of just quality time with her. So I wanted to honor her.
Mhm.
I didn't want her to just be forgotten because there were people that genuinely loved Cinnamon.
Yeah.
And she used to be the face of the shelter. She used to be like pretty much almost like a mascot for the shelter. And so there's so many people that love animals, but my heart will always be for the underdogs. So there's dogs just like Cinnamon that's never known about, that never gets even the opportunities that she did.
Mhm.
So when I named it Cinnamon's Closet, it wasn't just it was predominantly for her to bring some honor and just remember her fondly, but it was for all the dogs that don't get their stories told.
Yeah.
And so that's why, and when I started the Facebook, I initially wrote a post about her and a little bit why I started it.
Yeah.
So it's for all the underdogs, or like people. I have rescue cats that love cats, and the same thing. They're dying out in the street. Rescuers are out there TNRing them, begging for donations, trying to help them,
Yeah.
and they all matter. So
Yeah. It's very important, especially the ones that don't necessarily get a happy ending. I know
yeah,
Cinnamon didn't end up in a home,
yeah,
and there are, like you said, tons of cats
yeah,
running around that we need rescues to trap them and trap, neuter, release, and
yeah,
continue that. So,
yeah. And I think they're vulnerable, just like a child. Like the
mhm.
animals, unless you're their voice, they don't have one.
Yeah.
And not everybody, is on board with helping them. So the ones who are, I say, do it,
Mhm.
Mhm.
be their voice.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the technology when they can help you understand what animals are saying.
Shit.
Instant bot.
That might not be a good
A
thing.
little chip.
Depends. Depends.
Why did you do this to me? What do you mean?
Realize our pets don't love us as much as we love them.
Yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do.
I know. I don't think Milo would be nothing without you or me. Maybe baby dog would be sad without
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what got you into loving animals and caring about animals so much at a young age? Did you just grow up with animals and that you grew to love them, or is it that that like people like to take advantage of them and that they don't have that voice, so it makes you grow attached to them more? Because I know for me, like just growing up with animals made me love them, especially dogs. Till the day that I die, I'm
Yeah.
always team dog, and I'll probably always have one
Right.
until I die.
Right.
So,
So to be honest, okay, like in my background, I was an equestrian and had horses. So I rode and showed and broke them for like 10 years. But when I think back over my life, this is a true but funny, kind of sad story. So there was a cat in our neighborhood that had kittens underneath someone's porch. And I remember saying to my mom, like, can I go get a kitten? And she's like, yeah, if you can get it. And I knew she thought like, there's no way she's getting that kitten, right?
yeah.
And I remember, and I was like 5, I was like underneath the porch going, give me, and it came and I got it. And I had that cat for years and years and years till it died. So I think you are an animal
Mhm.
lover. So if I was doing that when I was little, it wasn't like taught, it was just like
Yeah.
in my heart. So I say I'm pro dog, but I have rescue cats, so that's okay too. And one time,
We have two cats too, so that I
yeah,
love very much.
and one time, like I always say, like, oh yeah, I'm more of a dog person. And my one cat, they're all inside cats, got out, and I'm like on Lost and Found Pets. It's not an outdoor cat. Has anybody seen him? I'm like freaking
Yeah.
out.
She won't make it.
That's what I said. He's not gonna make it out there. Oh.
This is 5 p.m. snuggles.
So I think I love them all. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
No. I think it's sad because some people, I know Jenny said she was like afraid of dogs when she was younger. Like some people have a very bad
Oh
experience at
yeah.
first, and it's like
Yeah.
don't let that one bad experience feather you away from having an animal. Like
Yeah.
give it another try because different dog breeds or animal breeds are different, and they'll, some are more aggressive based on how they were raised. It's not more so much the animal, but it's how the animal is treated and how it's raised that you should be afraid of. I would judge more like the people that have aggressive animals than like the animals themselves. So
Yeah.
people should definitely try and give animals another shot, especially if they had a bad first experience,
Yeah.
excluding allergies and stuff like that, like reasons you get.
Allergies. Take an allergy pill. Adopt an
Benadryl,
animal.
right? Benadryl.
Or if you're young and your parents don't allow it just yet, just wait till you're 18.
The
But
one time you're allowed to go against your parents.
yeah.
Just
Well, you
adopt
know
an animal.
what? They're a great companion, whatever your pick might be of what animal.
Mm.
And I think with people like, there's so much an issue on mental health
Yeah.
that I think it's wonderful, like to have a companion. And
Uh,
it's proven even with health facts that people do better, live longer
mhm.
when they have pets.
Hmm.
So whether it's a fish, a dog, a cat,
Mhm.
lizard, whatever
Mhm.
your thing is, you know. But yeah, I think they're beneficial. I mean, they're here.
Yeah.
They're here. They have just as much of a right to be here as we do.
Yeah.
They're
They're part of
also
the ecosystem,
yeah,
Yeah.
is how it is.
they're also very smart. So like I'll base how I judge people on how my animals react to them. Or last week
100%.
last week there was supposed to be a tornado and I was chilling until I saw like my dog who's not usually afraid, Mida, who's not usually afraid of storms. He started hiding, our cat started acting a little different. I was like, oh, okay, maybe we should take this
Well, let's go
atmosphere.
downstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they if they sense something, they have that like you
Yeah.
said, ESP or
Yep.
whatever,
Yeah.
Yep.
that they can sense danger or something's not right. You go off of that because that's how they survive. It's their natural instinct.
Hmm.
They sense energy. I
Hmm.
mean, if they can sense cadavers, you
Yeah.
know, they can
Yeah.
sense other things. You
Yeah.
know, their hearing is excellent.
If
So
they can
yeah,
sense somebody turning a corner down the road to bark.
in the window.
Yeah.
It's like, look at the little creature.
Yeah.
He's so cute. He's so cute. I
She's
saw his little
always
white face.
people watching. Yeah.
So maybe she just was doing that and I just happened to drive up. I don't know.
Yeah. But
So, do you have any advice or knowledge for people who maybe aren't as familiar with rescuing animals or saving animals and kind of what the climate is like, maybe locally in Johnstown or even nationwide, some of the issues going on?
Definitely overpopulation
Hmm.
of animals, so it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of definitely a need for education for spaying and neutering.
mhm,
There's just it's like there's not enough homes, and they just and breeders keep breeding, even if they're professionals, and then you have all these pets that no fault of their own, sometimes end up in shelters, whether it's, I don't have enough time for them. There's just so
Hmm.
many aspects to it. But I would say anybody that has a heart to help them, contact. There's all kinds of ways you can help, whether it's donating, whether it's actively involved, whether it's sharing posts. There's just so many things you can do
Yeah.
to help. So, and there's a lot of rescues that are foster based. The shelters are all like busting out at the seams, like everybody is with animals.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's one, educate yourself a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you can look at stuff online, you can call rescue groups, but you can be part of the solution. You can be definitely part of the help.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who say it's too expensive or they don't have the time or kind of don't really understand what it's like to have a pet? Maybe they're interested, but they think it's going to be too expensive or like they work too much or they don't want to pay for dog boarding when they go on vacation or anything like that.
So, I'm going to start with the we just don't have time for them.
Yeah.
No.
she had to break down this multiple
Oh,
levels.
yeah.
There's so
Oh, yeah.
many excuses as to why
Oh.
people don't.
So, for mamas and daddies and grandmamas and anybody raising children, your children go to school a minimum of 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You do not get rid of your children, hopefully not. So, think of that in regards to animals. Like if you have to work, most of them, they're going to be okay. Most of them, they will genuinely go to sleep. It's not a big deal. Now, for those who have separation anxiety, like I have one,
Yeah.
there's still ways, humane ways, creating them, different things you can do
Yeah.
and still keep an animal.
I have seen on Facebook groups people asking about, hey, I work, I'm going to be out of the house 8 hours a day. And there's people just attacking them saying, no, your pet can't be alone that long. And it's like, how does anyone have an animal then? Or people getting dog sitters every
Yeah.
single day? Like, that just doesn't make sense. So I just think there is some kind of
Oh, yeah.
miseducation there because we watch our dogs on the cameras and
Yeah.
they do
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah. I know. Me
Chill.
too. I'm like thinking, oh, is she missing me? She's like out on the
Yeah,
couch. I was like, okay.
they're dreaming.
Yeah. And also as far as like affording a pet, it can be expensive
Mhm.
if they're unhealthy or you come across health problems.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of resources like low cost clinics for their, annual shots. Sometimes there's funds, there's rescue groups people can contact. Sometimes there's even groups like there's one locally, Pay It Forward. Well, people will just flat out ask for help and you might be you will see sometimes people stepping up even if it's anonymously because they don't
Mhm.
want to be known
Yeah.
to help support someone.
Yeah.
So I still think there's resources out there.
Yeah.
There's pet food pantries, which is one thing that we're supporting, and that's to keep animals in their homes. So people don't say, I can't afford to feed my animal, anymore.
Mhm.
There's just lots of resources. It's just a matter of looking or asking.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean even if you're like on a fixed income that's you're ineligible to own a pet.
So what do you think the number one reason is that people don't adopt animals? Do you think it would be because of one of those reasons?
Do you mean like rescue animals or just to get one period?
Either one.
Um,
Both if you want to answer both.
yeah, I think it is. I think some people that really think it through do think like I have to work from home to have a pet, and that is
Mhm.
just not true.
Yeah.
You can spend quality time with them when you get home. There's weekends. There's plenty of people that have multiple pets and still love them and take care of them, working or not.
Mhm.
Um, I think rescue, it's always like a hindrance where I don't know the animal, so I'm going to get it from a breeder. And I'm like, do you know your boyfriend that well? Like, how
Yeah.
long did you move in or whatever before you knew the
Yeah.
boyfriend? And, some people are more patient than others. So there's training, there's still support. Like, we're just in a day and age where there's just so much information and education. You just have to go online or on your phone. So
Yeah.
a lot of it, to me, it's like your responsibility as well. Or
Yeah.
just reaching out and asking people,
Mhm.
for help or advice
Yeah.
that are reputable. Let me say that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people fear being bad pet owners because there's a lot of times where stuff with my animals, maybe I'm not walking them every day, or I'm not, maybe I'm just felt like I didn't feed them enough that day, or I took too long to get them groomed, or whatever it is. So, what do you think makes a good pet owner, and what do you think people like myself maybe judge themselves a little too
You're judgy,
harshly
judgy.
for? Yeah.
So I would say this. I think our animals, most animals, they adore their pet owners.
Mhm.
They love them. You do not have to be perfect to be a pet owner.
Yeah.
And there is dog walkers. There is other things
Yeah.
depending on if you can afford it. But I think it's not to be so harsh. You don't have to be perfect.
Mhm.
And there's most of them. Now, I know you have your divas, but
Yeah.
most of them are truly content with like your companionship and
Yeah.
your food and your love, the
Mm.
warm home. Um, I do. I think they're grateful and they appreciate it. I think we're our own worst critic most of the time.
Mhm.
Because I do the same thing. Like, oh, I'm walking this dog, but not this one. Oh, I'll get you the next day, or I gotta walk them all three back to back.
Yeah. That's why
So
we have two. We got to make sure that there's a balance. We can take
yeah,
turns
yeah, it's like the
and
pressure. Because
yes.
yeah, but I just think it shows too that you're a loving human that wants to do right by your pet.
Yeah.
So it's endearing. But yeah, I don't think they're as judging of us as we think they are.
Okay.
I'm more judging myself when I like work all day and then I come home and it's like, well, I don't I don't plan anything for another hour or two just so they can really relax. And I feel so guilty like coming home, hi, I love you, and then seeing you right away. I'm like, they just wait for me all day, and I just give them 2 seconds, and I'm back out the door. It's like crushing their little hearts. They're so happy to see me, and then you leave, and they're like, oh, okay. That's when I judge myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quick high, but
Well, you ever go with them in the car? Like Kumi, I like brought her when it was like nice weather in the car, and I'm like just going in the store. She's in the window, like in the arms of, like she's devastated. Like where is she going? I'm
Yeah.
like,
They're
mommy's
so
coming
pathetic and
right
sad.
back. Don't even like move.
So, do you have any advice, or not any advice, but people who are looking to adopt pets for the first time, especially rescues, something that they should expect and handle? Because I know we have a few people that rescued pets and they weren't prepared for the chewing of the shoes, the
Yeah.
chewing of the wires, or just the energy of the animal and everything of that sorts. What is some good advice that people could know ahead of time before rescuing an animal or adopting a pet?
Back to education, research your breed. A
Yeah.
mixed breed, you're not going to get as much.
Yeah.
But like if you get a
50-50.
working breed dog and like they're chewing your walls and they're chewing your shoes you're like, well, it's because they need a job. They're a working dog. And I think people do the same thing with animals as people like, oh yeah, I'll take that one. That one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Or oh, I like the way that one's hair is. And then they have no idea what kind of breed
Mm-hmm.
they really have. So like it's simple. High energy, medium, low energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of person are you? How active is your lifestyle? Those are simple, easy ways to look at it too. How much time you do have to commit. Like some are fine to like sit on the couch. They don't even
Yeah.
barely want to walk, and then
Baby
others,
dogs.
yeah, like go, go, go. So yeah, I would research the breed, talk to people, and like if you're rescuing, you can talk to the staff or the people that deal with the
Mhm,
dog, like what kind of dog, what's its energy level, what's its likes,
mhm,
kids, not kids. But it's still sometimes hard to gauge
mhm.
because they're different in different environments.
Yeah.
So one person might say they don't like kids, maybe not your kid, like
Yeah.
your
It was
kid's
tugging its
not being
tail.
right, not being nice, but they're like, they love mine. So yeah, I think it's, knowing what the care is gonna be and what kind of like if they're looking for a certain type of dog. Like,
Mhm.
do you like to hike? Get a dog that likes to go, go, go.
Yeah.
Mm,
I
Well,
think that's helpful.
yeah.
yeah.
What is some advice do you have that because Jenny and I did an episode about pets and how Johnstown isn't the most pet friendly
Hmm.
Oh,
of
yeah.
places? What is some of your advice that maybe Johnstown could like they're gonna watch this video, but listen to this podcast
They will.
that that they should become how would you fix the Johnstown pet issue?
For pet friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for us, we basically had to buy a house. Like we had to because we have all these animals. We're not giving up our animals.
Right, right.
We're not trying to get
Amen,
evicted.
sister.
Yeah,
Right.
so we made it work. But for those
Like
who
don't have that
don't
luxury.
have a few
Yeah,
extra dollars
yeah,
stashed and can't
yeah,
buy a house, can't get
yeah.
approved, there's nowhere to rent in this town that will accept animals.
Mm.
It's hard. They're breed specific or they're
Mhm.
weight specific.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is an issue. Um, I think too, like the small minority have ruined it. So like if like landlords were like, yeah, you can have a
Hmm.
pet, but like didn't want it to turn into a barn.
Yeah.
So they kind of ruin it for the responsible pet owners.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, I don't I don't really know except for I know our first dog that we rescued, I rented for 8 or 9 years and I kept asking for a dog. And he's like, no, 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 no.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And so I found the one I loved and asked, I said, it was at the shelter. His name was Muggsy. And I was like, well, I know I've asked for years but I'm gonna ask just one more time. Could I please have a pet? And there was just silence. And he's like, I don't have a problem with that. So I like flew back
Yeah.
up to the shelter. So,
He knew you weren't gonna stop asking.
well, yeah. No, I think, but what he said was he knew how I took care of my home. So I think
Yeah.
he felt I was responsible. So it is a hard hurdle. And I don't blame landlords when I've seen some of their properties either, what
Yeah.
they've done without pets. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Well, still with children.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know except for just be a good steward of your life and who you are and I think your character. might speak more than anything if they'd be willing for
Yeah.
people to have pets because it is hard when you rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard, and I found that out. Even certain when you're a homeowner, only a couple insurances will cover certain breeds of dogs. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, remember when they asked our
Yeah,
dog
Mhm.
breeds for
yeah. And
homeowners?
there's a
Yeah.
list. There's a. It's not just a couple breeds. It's a list with certain ones. Farmers Insurance, unless they've changed it, which I don't believe they have. That's who I have. As long as they have no bite history, they do not care what
Mm.
I
kind of
think that's
dog
what
you
we
have.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
So shout out to farmers. Yeah.
Well, I think also just the pet extra is kind of ridiculous because they find a way to extort it. That
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
pet security deposit, the pet rent,
yeah,
the
Yeah.
all the
because like
extra things.
you don't do that for children, and I see my pets as children, so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like what you have two kids, it's $1,000 extra
Yeah.
kid insurance.
Yeah, it's just
Nothing against
hard because
children,
no, it's
but
just hard because legally you can't discriminate against children, but
Yeah.
you can against animals, so they
Right.
can charge extra 100 there and 100 there for animals, but not children, when I think they can cause
Oh
equally the
yeah.
same
Oh
amount of
yeah.
damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think again, it's just a minority of people have ruined it for
yeah.
a lot of, and you guys are responsible pet owners. You have to
Mhm.
keep in mind, not everybody is.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, you have people that just they're neglectful, they're abusive, they're
Yeah.
hoarding,
Not the hoarders. I remember that one story from Bedford.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went down there. I got
Did
to
you?
walk. Yeah, it was hilarious because I was like, I'm here to volunteer. And then she gives me a chihuahua and I was like, okay. So I like walked the chihuahua and then I went back. I was like I have pit bulls at home. She's like, oh, and I was like, no, 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 it's okay. I'm just saying. So then she
I
let
can
me walk
handle
the pit.
more.
Yeah, because I guess she's tired. She's like, here's a chihuahua. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was one of the hoarders. So sweet.
Mhm.
So, so, so sweet. My cats are bigger than that chihuahua. So I was
That-
like, it's so tiny. But yeah, so that's hard. Yeah, because a lot of people, unfortunately, some of them that have animals have severe mental health issues. So they're like, I'm helping them. It's like you're not helping 45 cats. Like
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that's where like God bless the rescues and the TNR people and the education and yeah, it's hard. And maybe sometimes too, I think it goes back to education that they might not think I can't afford, I don't have $200. But if there's a spay neuter clinic that's like 80, 90, 50,
Yeah.
you could start one by one and help
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
So how did you get into dog walking? Were you nervous at first? I don't know. Jenny's thinking about it, I'm thinking about it, but like different dogs, different breeds, and
So,
I don't want to like hurt the dog or nothing.
well,
Don't
let me
end up in
say
a bad
this.
situation or dragged down the street.
Yeah.
So, my one rescue dog was a 120-pound Rottie, right?
Okay.
I had just said probably about 2 months before I rescued my first pit bull, like I will never own a pit bull. Like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it.
Mm.
They're always on the news. They're going nuts. They're killing. Like
Yeah.
I will never own that breed.
Yeah.
Well, so I just went to the shelter one day to look, and there was Muggsy,
Mhm.
and he was so sweet. And I should have known because he was the only dog not barking.
Oh, okay.
Red flag number
Yeah.
one. He was like,
Pick me.
so, yeah, he was. He was like working it. So that's when I made the call to my landlord and then I said, he's a pit bull. And he's like, that's fine. So I went flying to the shelter and got him. So when I got him home, I quickly learned the difference between human aggression and dog reactivity and aggression. Because I was like, okay, so I adopted a crazy dog.
Yeah.
Because he was very sweet with people and kids, but when he saw another dog on leash, it's like,
Mhm.
I'm about that life. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
I was like, what have I done? So he trained me, he taught me so much. I had him 10 years. He just recently passed away.
Sorry.
And anyways, so after I had him a few years, I remember thinking, I should go back and volunteer.
Mhm.
There's probably dogs just like him
Mhm.
that are so sweet. And I just didn't think like I was capable, so I was encouraging anybody because you have to keep in mind, like, I'm an equestrian. I'm not like a dog handler. I'm not the dog
Yeah.
whisperer. So I just
Feeding
kind of
carrots.
went in there like, they're not dragging me around. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not happening. So I kind of showed up with my stuff and got the dog handling. And so here's what I would say. If you don't feel comfortable with a dog, don't walk it
Hmm.
because they will sense your fear. One,
Yeah.
but it is not your size, it is your spirit.
Hmm.
Because most of the dogs I think that behaved for me
Hmm.
was because I built a bond with them and
Yeah.
they love me and I love them. And
Yeah.
they looked at me as we were friends, and they looked when they saw me coming, they knew like good times, shout it down the kennel, we're getting
Yeah.
out of here.
You're the cool aunt.
Yeah, totally. They're like, yep, ready for it. So, and I just fell in love with them. And just that little bit, like my heart broke for them because they weren't in homes
Mhm.
where Muggsy like was living the king's life.
Yeah.
So I
Can't speak
just
for them.
felt, and they were so appreciative of like a little walk that it was just, I was like addicted to it. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what got me started. Oh, Mugsarelli. Yep, it's because of him. It is that I do everything. And because he was a pit bull,
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, I wasn't as intimidated.
Hmm.
Plus, he was like tiny compared to my Roddy, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
But yeah, and so then he trained me a lot, and then I started researching, and
Hmm.
I would look up different breeds. So like when dogs come in, so I would be a better handler
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Like a working dog, if they come behind you, they're not probably biting you, they're hurting or
Yeah.
like they got my ankle. And it's like, that's not what it's about. You
Yeah.
don't understand. So I just wanted to be as good as I could for them.
Hmm.
So yeah. And I took my time too, because if there was a dog I wasn't sure of, I definitely would not touch it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope. So if I had any fear or apprehension, I waited till we were cool, like making friends, giving
Yeah.
treats, building that bond. And then it was easy peasy. And they're very smart. They're very nosy. They watch. They're like people. Like if Joe said you're cool with me. Because
Yeah.
they would like watch how you interacted with other dogs.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And they're very naughty. Like I've seen some dogs that were very good, but then a big guy would come and they're like dragging him down the street. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
You're.
Like kids kind of seeing
Yeah.
what they could get away with
Mhm.
who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking advantage.
But I just fell in love with them.
Mm.
And then the pits too, it's not just because I'm like pro pity, but like people were intimidated, even men,
Mhm.
Yeah.
where I was like, don't worry, I got these guys at home. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you guys walk the dogs that you feel more comfortable with, and I'll
Mhm.
take the
The
naughty
bigger one.
ones. The
Yeah.
naughty ones. Yeah, sometimes.
I gotta give you a lot of props for being going and volunteering though, because I couldn't do that. If I went to the if I donate my time to Pain Society, we bring a dog home every day because I feel so bad for like some of the ones that just live their whole lives
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's all that they
Some
know.
dogs
Yeah.
are in there for a long time. I hate when they post like the count. It's like it's been here for 283 days.
Three and a
Yeah.
half years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Three and
awful.
a half
Like just to think that
years.
the life that it knows is just being well, not to throw us one of the bus, but like not fed because people are lazy or just mistreated.
I
And an
would bite
animal.
everybody if that was me, bro.
Yeah.
I'd bite them all. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be so nice.
Even if they were living the dream life and had super great handlers and got the best treats and food, I mean, they're still in a cage every day,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
next to a million other dogs. That's why some of them do
Yep.
turn dog
Yep.
aggressive
Yep.
because it's just
Stress.
the
It's
same
stress.
thing.
Stress, yeah.
It is kind of doggy prison in a way because they're
Yeah.
just in their
And they've
little
done nothing. Yeah.
And
sections
they didn't do anything to get in that doggy pen
Yeah.
other than exist
and
because
they're
some
on a
people want
schedule.
to breed.
Yeah.
But you know what
Yeah.
I would say to that? I felt obligated to them
Mhm.
because that little bit of happiness, and don't get it twisted. I came home crying plenty.
Yeah.
I've cried so many tears, but I also tell myself it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I rather have that dog be happy for 10 or 15
Yeah, then
minutes?
not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I'll cry. I could go home and
Yeah.
cry to my nice house with my dog. but you know what I
Like
mean? It
boxy a
meant the
little
word,
bit.
yeah, like, oh, I did the arms of the angel.
Yeah.
But but it made me feel like so happy that I could bring them that
Mhm.
little bit of joy, and they're so appreciative.
Yeah.
They're so appreciative of it.
Yeah, it's
They're
better
like,
to give them a few minutes of love
yeah, than
than not.
nothing.
It's
Yeah.
the little things
And
that
then
count.
it's also gets them more socialized, so they're hopefully easier to
Mhm.
adopt.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Used to human interaction.
yeah, yeah. And even some like somewhat walking them so they learn to walk better on
Mhm.
leash and easier for when someone would adopt them.
Yeah, that's what.
So yeah, it's I always say it's not about you because if it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't I would never go back. And I did. I would cry all the time, cry like a girl.
So, did it take you a while to learn to train to be able to walk dogs that maybe aren't used to being able to walk? Like, do you get them to eventually heal or at least
Um
stay in a line?
Yeah, it depends. They trained me as much as I trained them,
Yeah.
but I also have a couple dog trainers that I watch online that I
Hmm.
think are awesome how they interact with the dogs. So I again like would educate myself
Yeah.
so I would be a better dog walker.
Hmm.
Yeah, and some of them they're so smart. Like they're so persnickety. Like they'll act like I don't know nothing. And then I'm like, you know what? This one knows how to sit, lay, roll.
Yeah.
But then you get them back there and they're like, not doing it. I'm like, stop it. So, like, they're so funny and quirky. And some of them, someone invested in them because they
Yeah.
already knew those tricks.
Yeah.
Or their house broken. In
Mhm.
the morning, you'd go and they're all like holding it, like, I gotta go. But they won't go in their kennel. And their house broken. Like,
Yeah.
it's so sweet.
Well,
So, yeah.
dogs are little pranksters. Our little dog, she will act hurt when she wants to go in or it's a little too cold and
Yeah, when it was snowing, she was limping.
Sympathy.
She was
limping.
limping.
And then people are inside. She's walking and running and jumping on couches.
So, she's training you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's training you very well,
She
human.
won't go down her basement steps, but then all of a sudden she knew
All
how
of
to
a
go.
sudden, once I start taking him on walks every day, she follows me down the
Oh,
stairs.
But
Like,
before that, she was not going
yeah.
down the stairs no
she's just
matter
Yeah.
what.
right at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lying to me.
So, what would you say is best for people who maybe can't rescue or adopt animals? Would you suggest taking them on walks, volunteering? Like, what can people in the community do that aren't in a situation to adopt? Like, we're pretty much maxed out, but we
Yeah.
love animals and would
Yeah.
love to help in every way possible. So, what options are there?
Um, you mean for hands-on to still be like
just,
Anything.
just to help out
so
the animals around.
yeah, exactly. Sharing posts, donating to the pantries. You can donate to Cinnamon's Closet, donate to rescuers. You can, like say they have animal events, you can show up to those to support. You can
Hmm.
talk to people about it. You can even, like, if you have the means, pay it forward for a spay or neuter. Yeah, and even the same thing, call up rescues and ask them the same thing, like, hey, I want to help. Is there anything I can do? I might not be able to come out and walk. I might not be able to come out and trap, but what could I do? It's using whatever talents you have. If
Yeah.
you have a talent, like say you're awesome with media,
Mhm,
they might be like, hey, could you help us with our media? Could
mhm,
you do? So I think it's just presenting yourself and saying, like, I want to help. This is what I can't physically be there, but what can I do to support you? A
Yeah.
lot of times it's just asking,
Yeah.
and they might have different needs
Yeah.
period. So I think that's a big help in itself
Hmm.
because that's what I for Cinnamon's Closet, like I'm not able anymore to volunteer. So I
Yeah.
still was like, I'll be
You need to do
damned
something.
if
Yeah.
I am gonna know I'm helping them. That's why I said, I don't care if it's a fish, it's a turtle. I got you. I will help you. So there's still ways, and like if you want to support us, we gladly appreciate it. And I would like to say too that Lisa with the Cambria County Clothing Boutique has been wonderful. And what she does is almost what they do is they take donations
Hmm.
of new and gently used clothing, and they have clothing closets in some of the schools in Cambria County
Hmm.
for the kids in need.
Yeah.
So she's doing that, helping with the children, and I'm helping with the
Yeah.
animals. And it's the same thing. Like if I'm not busy, I'm more than happy to help and support her too. So I'm very grateful that we partnered together because we both just have a heart to give back.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing too. Whatever your talents are, use them to the best of your ability. Don't be shy. Don't think, oh, I'm not a professional or maybe I'm not going to do it right. Just get in there and do it.
Hmm.
You'll learn along the way. We're all going to make mistakes. I don't care how much
Mm.
experience you have. So I would just encourage people, like if I would have known what I know now, I would have volunteered years prior. But
Yeah.
I just thought like, well, I don't know. I don't, maybe I
Yeah.
don't need it. Maybe I'm not good enough,
Yeah.
and that wasn't the case. I was like so happy. And so that's why now I jump in if there's anything I feel like I can give back to the community. I do
Hmm.
Mm.
because it's a good feeling. It's not even about me. I try to like stay under the radar and just, do what I can to help others. And it's a great feeling. So if you're like self-centered, self-focused, it's probably not the thing for you.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you're into like helping, yeah,
Hmm.
use your talents and don't be shy about it. Because you've only got one life to live. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
go round. And you don't want to live like if you ever talk to people that are near the end of their life, a lot of them live with regret. Like,
Mm.
I should have done this, I should have done that. Do it while you can, because you don't know what's around the corner. You might not be able to.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I would encourage everybody. Like everybody matters. It's not everybody has a purpose. That's why we're here. So, and don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Just
tough.
because, yeah, like I'm not the Chihuahua walker, but hats off to the people. I mean, I'll do it. Don't get me wrong, because they might be like, I don't want to walk pit bulls, or I don't want to do. You don't have to. Leave it
Mhm.
to the people. Like I would do
Everyone
it.
has a special skill. And like you said, use your
Exactly.
talent. Go
100%.
ahead and do that because your talents are needed somewhere. And it's
And
better
you
to use
might
them than
have
not.
gifts that you don't even know.
Hmm.
Like
You
if
don't know
you're
until you try, yeah.
right, and if you're a knitter, you can make things for the animals. You
Mhm.
can do all kinds of things that matter.
Yeah.
So I don't think too we're unique and we're individuals. So I don't think we should compare
Yeah.
ourselves to what someone else does because there's only one you.
Mm.
And be the best you. No one can be you anyways. So
Yeah.
and it's creepy when someone tries to be. So, like, just be who you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like let all your talents, and you might be good at something that you don't even know you were good at.
Hmm.
It's just trying it. So I would encourage everybody to try
Yeah.
because I think they make a difference. And when community comes together,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you make things happen.
Yeah.
No one's like the one hero, the island unto itself. Like you
Yeah.
need help.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here for too, is just to support. That's why we're not another rescue, but we're here to support the ones that are actively doing it. And
Yeah.
if there's anything, anybody, wants of us, all they have to do is reach out to our Facebook, our website, call. And if I can do it, I will.
Hmm.
I wish my talent was cat walking. I want to walk a
Hey,
cat.
those Maine Coons walk on harnesses. They do, some of them. I've
Guess we
seen
gotta get
it.
another cat.
I wish I could walk exotic. I want to walk a lizard one day. Just so people can like driving by look at me weird. A
See,
turtle.
got goals. You got goals
I got goals.
here. Yeah, you can make it
I can
happen.
never
Get
walk.
them, Jenny.
I can walk a fish just thrown in a pond and walk next to it.
Jesus. Could you imagine walking
So,
along the street? What you doing?
walking
Walking
my
my
fish,
fish.
my goldfish. Excuse me.
Get in a
Just
little wagon. Little wagon.
put a little bell above it so that my nose starts trying to wander off.
Oh
I
my
don't even need a leash, just a fishing rod
gosh.
when it goes forwards at once.
Oh God.
Oh,
You're so creative, Nicholas.
what can I say? I just want to think of different ways to walk different creatures on this earth.
There you go.
We should start that. Nick
Yeah.
Nick walks anything, and then it's your
Exactly.
animal walking business.
Want to walk my ant? Sure. I don't know. I see people walk their cat. I saw some lady with like a cat and they're like just chilling in her lap driving one day. I was
Yeah.
like, I wish that could be me.
I wish our cats were that coordinated.
The chain when they're young.
We should have got a kitten.
We should have got a kitten to start walking.
Next cat. We'll just get another cat. That's fine.
No, dog. We have to have a dog first. I told Jenny we got dogs gotta be like the dominant, and then we can even out with cats afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 dogs.
Some of my cats run my dogs. They run those pit bulls. I kid you not. They're all street cats. They do not play. They
How
don't.
many pets do you have right now?
So I had 3 rescue dogs, 4 rescue cats, and a bed of fish.
We had a
Awesome.
couple fish, but one.
So we just need 2 more cats, another dog, and a fish.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll be caught up.
And fish are smart, man. We used to have one fish, little Uzi, I call him. Just one little fish, and like he'll like look at me and wave
Oh
me
yeah, they get
goodbye.
excited when it's time for feed. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
And then we
oh yeah, they know.
yeah.
They do."
It's just hard. Fish can be a little difficult with the water and other fish
Yeah,
breeds and
yeah,
stuff.
we got to study fish before we get more fish.
Yeah, that's what we need to educate ourselves on is fish.
Yeah.
I would love a pond if we had the money for it in the
Yeah, of
house.
course.
Definitely have like a pond with some koi fish or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Goldfish, they get so big. They get as big as the environment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
so
of them do. Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
pond would be cool.
Maybe our next house.
Our next house when this
Maybe when
podcast
we reach the
boosts
next
off.
tax bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When this podcast blasts oss when we get
it
lots of
will. It will.
Alice and
Think
Cooper money.
positive. Think big.
Yeah.
Think big.
So before we end, do you want to talk about? I know you do stuff with Canines for Christ a little bit,
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah.
and do you do anything else that you want to talk about? I didn't get to look at the business cards, but
No,
before
that's
we,
okay. So Canines for Christ is an international therapy dog, and the main point of difference between other therapy dogs and our therapy dogs is we're believers in Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
So we go to like nursing homes, schools, events, anywhere we're pretty much invited, and our dogs are AKC Good Citizen
Mhm,
dogs. They have their good citizenship. They are insured. Our group in Johnstown, have our clearances to be around children.
mhm,
So yeah, if anybody's ever interested, we're actually going to 2 events on Wednesday. We're going to be at the Drip Coffee House in Westmont. You can come see my Mr. Meatball, my big
Oh,
puppy.
Mr.
Um,
Meatball. Okay, I'm down for that.
that's his AKA. His real name is Silas, but I call him Meatball sometimes
That's our
because his
next pet
head's
name,
like
Mr.
this.
Meatball.
Mr. Meatball. Um, so we'll be up there at the Drip,
Okay.
April 5th, I believe it's from 12 to 2. And there's the we're with part of the Keystone chapter,
Mhm.
but we had 3 dog handlers right in the Johnstown area. So we like partner up. And he was a rescue too.
Mhm,
Okay.
He was literally running the streets. Okay.
mhm,
The shelter was full. And I remember I was like, well, I got him, he's fine. He's in the basement. He's got food. He's got water. He's like so sweet. My son's like, you're not going to keep him, are you? And I was like, no. And it was like 3 months after my dog died, Muggsy.
mhm.
And I was like, I'm absolutely not getting another dog.
Yeah.
And then it's not happening. And he was like perfect. He was housebroken. He loved kids. He loved cats. He loved everybody. And I remember thinking, he would be like a great therapy dog. Like, how do I go about that?
Mhm.
And then I saw a post on Facebook, hey, is anybody interested in therapy dogs for Canine for Christ? So I kind of like, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do? So we're a ministry of presence, so we just bring love, companionship, care. Like if somebody wants prayer, if they want to talk to us, absolutely, but we're just there to love on the community
Yeah.
and just be kind, bring hope. Animals do that on their own. We're just kind of
Yeah.
on the other end of the leash,
Yeah.
we were just actually, this was hilarious, at Rebecca Manor, visiting the residents there that were older.
Mhm.
And the lady's like, she's like, I don't know if they're therapy dogs. And I don't remember the lady's name, but say it was Rachel. She's like, Rachel thinks only German Shepherds are therapy dogs. And we come in with our pit bulls.
It's like, what is this?
Yeah, everybody loved them. They were so good. We had such a good time. So, yeah, if you ever want to talk about it more, definitely we'll come back. But
Yeah.
he's the only one eligible. My other 2 animals are definitely not
Too
therapy
crazy.
dogs.
Not relaxing
The
enough.
girls are
Yeah.
not okay. Nope, handle with caution. But
Yeah.
he is like so laid back. He's so wonderful.
The special, most special of the children.
Yes, yes. They're a little bit of a bad influence on him lately. So I was like, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
He's my therapy dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely spicy where he's only spicy if needed.
Mm.
But he's
Aw.
very sweet. He
That's so
loves
cute.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems to really love kids more.
Mhm.
We went to Operation Christmas Child. It was such a privilege. And when I tell you he was loving all over those kids, he just like
Aw.
really like seems to love kids,
Yeah.
little ones. Yeah.
Showcasing his talents, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something else I'm involved, but it's just a way to give back and
Yeah.
to still and what's nice is he's a good ambassador.
Mhm.
Like, he's not dog aggressive. Muggsy was wonderful with people,
Mhm.
everybody but dogs. It was like everybody let's square up.
Yeah.
And Silas is so sweet. He's like, I'm all about peace, you know?
Yeah.
So it's so nice, and I'm definitely capitalizing. I was like, "Oh, you're going everywhere because he's such a good boy."
Yeah.
So
That's sweet.
yeah, you guys should meet him. Come up there, have coffee or whatever, and meet him.
We might have to.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendall be
Coffee
there
and
with
dogs?
Toby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coffee with
Yeah.
dogs works.
Jess will be there with Winnie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna
Winston.
say I don't know if I saw Jess's post, but I did see that Kendall got
Yep.
Toby registered.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But yeah.
They're all friends. They're like the three amigos.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
they all like
cute.
each other. Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, and they all had to pass their, good canine citizen test, citizenship, so they were good.
That's so cute.
Hmm.
We need to make our dogs take a good citizen test.
Yeah, Mido, I think. Maybe not Mido, but baby dog could be a good citizen test.
I think baby. I mean, she's too scared. Our one little dog, she's very scared, and then Mido, he's nice, but like we were talking a little bit earlier, like there's certain people, like if there's bad vibes, like
Yeah,
he will bark and
yeah,
growl. Like
Mm.
he's very sweet to almost everybody, but if he gets any bad juju,
yep.
he is just
Yeah.
That's what
not
mine
having a
did
good
at
time.
Weber Rec. The
Mm,
one that my other one didn't have the best upbringing.
Mm.
So like she's not confident.
mm,
She's
Yeah.
insecure, but she goes from like, I'm so scared to beast mode.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
like one or the other.
Yeah.
And she would, it's so embarrassing, like tail between their legs till I'm like, oh no.
Get her in
But
the
she
car.
was
Yeah.
she was doing the same thing where some she would like no worries, and then others she's like growling. I was like,
Mm.
something's up with him. I'm a firm believer too.
Yeah.
She is sensing something.
Yeah.
There's not okay. And every time that one man walked around, I was like, you go, girl. She
Yeah.
knew like something is not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but she needs more socialization. She's just not confident.
Yeah.
And it's sad, And I just wonder too, like, how long does that affect them? Because like,
Hmm.
she was still young when I got her. And it's like heartbreaking. And
Hmm.
it's embarrassing because people are probably like, does she beat that dog?
Yeah.
No,
And
I
then
don't. I love her.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
So
with Mido, all we do is love him, but sometimes when Jenny like it doesn't matter. If she raises her hands, he'll flinch sometimes. Like,
yeah,
whoa, I didn't do nothing to you. Why are
Yeah.
you
yeah,
Yeah.
flinching?
yeah. I think it's just patience and then working
Yeah.
with them because the more I've been bringing her out, she's been better.
Hmm.
And she was good with Toby, with
Hmm.
Kendall's dog, and
Yeah.
the little one, Leo, because at first I was like, I don't know if you should trust her.
Yeah.
No, because she's like that. But she did really good. So,
Sometimes our dogs
and she
surprise
loved
us.
Kendall because I
Yeah.
was like, she doesn't like men, Kendall. Don't even touch her. And then she literally went right up to him and like
Oh,
kissed him. So I think she
that's
said
so
like
sweet.
he's a safe human, he's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
safe
He's one of the
person.
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like shocked, like, what? Yeah.
Not to brag, but I have not had an issue with the dog yet. So
You haven't seen
So
some of the dogs.
you've got good juju, good
yeah,
energy.
dogs love me.
A little too
Knock
much.
on wood. I want that to change.
Yeah, me either.
So I think we're good to wrap up. It's been
Yeah.
at least an hour, I
Yeah,
think.
if you want to give any shout outs, usually let's save the end for shout outs and causes that you want to push real quick before we end things or wrap things up.
Yeah.
Well, I just like you guys to thank you for having me on. I was
Of course.
nervous, but
Yeah.
you made it like pretty
We
easy.
try. We
That's
try.
what
You
that's what we
guys are
tried to
great.
do.
You guys are great. Yeah, and I would just like to thank all the people that do make a difference in animals. Like I think the unsung heroes, the people that are like doing the hard work behind the scenes that, people don't know about.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and I'm grateful for the people that supported Cinnamon's Closet, grateful for Lisa. grateful for my canines for Christ's crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, animal people are my people. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to all animal people.
Animal
that's
people are the
right.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
We hate
sure.
animals. We hate.
Yeah, you're not okay with us. Just so you know, not okay with us.
That's why, like, it bothers me. No offense to some people out there that like don't allow pets in the house or don't allow their dogs on the sofa. I could
Or
never.
keep their cats entirely outside all the time.
I
Or how
just,
about this? I'm not an animal person. That's when you say, "Oh, really good," because I'm not a human person. I'm
Exactly.
not a human
I
being
just,
person.
I just
Just
don't
kidding.
understand people can be so harsh towards animals or
I
like
don't know.
Yeah.
don't
Some
allow
is
them.
culture, but not all. Because some
Yeah.
cultures, like I still see people.
Hmm.
I have some friends from different cultures where they consider it dirty and like they just don't do that.
Yeah.
But then some of them, they totally are animal
Yeah.
lovers and got the animals in the
Um.
house.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think we were created to be with them. Like maybe not in some ways, but I mean
Yeah.
overall, like
yeah.
they're part of our world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just simple. So
If
leave it up to the animal people. That's what I say. You don't like them, go do your own thing. We'll do ours.
Well, if you look back in history, I mean, the Egyptians with the cats and the
Yeah,
sphinxes and the
cats have been
dogs,
domesticated multiple times.
Native
Yeah.
Americans with the wolves, and
Yeah.
how they agree to like, it's a
We domesticated
respectful
them
pack,
because
whatever.
they're meant to be with us.
Yeah, and it's like
They wouldn't
respectful.
be if they didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They wouldn't be.
Yeah. I just don't get me on the domestic because it sucks because cats and dogs nowadays, if we did stop domesticating them, they would not be able to survive on their
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
and that is a little
That's
sad.
why we have thousands of cats running around this town and a million dogs in the shelters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you again so much for coming
Yeah.
on and talking to us again. Cinnamon's Closet, the donations are from Monday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so much, guys.
thanks. Have a great day.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe,
Five.
follow, do all the things.
Yes.
And Heidi, she's great.
Yeah, she's great.